Okay, so I guess we've covered the QK stuff. I've got two more.
Two more. It's a meaty episode, mate. Yeah, go for it. Lay it on me.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, it is like it's interesting. So like, if people have a lot of stuff to say, like I don't mind it going for 2 episodes. You know, I think like especially with the things you're telling me, like people kind of need to know this.
Yes, and they do.
Because, like,
they absolutely do. Like, and you know, there are people that are going to listen to this that probably, like you said, don't read quack posts. So yeah, it's important that
exactly.
You've got that.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure like at some point I used to be kind of one of them. Like, you know, I'll be honest, like I didn't read much, and it was very easy for me to start criticizing people like, oh, you know, you're not doing this. But like, if anyone asked me, what the hell is this? What?
So I've just checked. So the direction like the debris and the particles going tells you which way the wind's going.
Oh, there's a wind.
There is wind.
Okay.
There's,
wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So like at least like now, just by talking to you, I realize like you do more stuff.
Yeah.
Because like it's pretty easy to criticize, but it's kind of hard to actually come up with stuff. And you just hit yourself.
No, it's you know, but criticism is important. If no one told us we were doing the wrong thing.
No, yeah, definitely, yeah.
Just do it constructively. Probably one of the most heartbreaking parts was like when we did release the draft of the new season structure. It was a bit mean. It did crush me a bit. Some of that feedback. Oh, go on. I'll take it.
What a shot, mate.
I'll take it.
You can tell you're a beater, yeah.
Yeah. Of course, I'm doing well now when it doesn't matter as much. Go on.
So that was actually one of my questions. Like, does playing beater help you in this game, huh?
a little bit. Like I'm not really paying attention to it. I'm planning a little bit. Like if I try this, I'll do this. But
perfect. I guess segue. Let's do playing stuff.
Go on then.
So I think we're kind of halfway there. So
Sweet.
Nice. So I guess obviously you've told me at the start you've played for a lot of the teams.
Yeah.
A lot of different teams, different, I guess, like you said, QPL, international. So how was it like adapting to new styles and like, so how was it adapting to new styles?
I think I'm quite lucky in the unique position that London, at least for the most part, and QPL. Oh, this is nice. Way overpowered. This is disgusting. QPL is like...
Yeah, wow.
Because obviously, like, Seb ran Monarchs, or Coach Monarchs. Let's be fair, he ran Monarchs the season I managed it as well. So, like, I was already used to that same sort of style. Like, Unspeakables were always, like, quite big and drivey. I think a lot closer to sort of Raptor style. Maybe a little bit more sort of passing work in there now. I think I'm reasonably adaptive. Like, I'm a better aggressive beater. I like the snitch on pitch battle stuff. That's more my favorite sort of way to go and to play. I think the biggest struggle was moving to LQC, where it's a much more disciplined, hold your ground sort of style, and like that was introduced to me during the 2018 iteration of Monarchs, and then it bled into the 2019 iteration of LQC, which led to a couple of championships, and that was really good. But before then, I was used to much more being a lot more free flowing with Unspeakables. You play a lot higher, a lot more aggressive. Make those opportunities for Big Boy McCartney to come and charge through, and it was great, and I love that. I think I struggled a lot more at the start. I think I struggle less now, but the great thing about LQC in particular is like, you know, apart from Jacopo and Seb when he wears the blank, because of course Seb's a good beater, is all the beaters are just solid. Like they're all good solid players.
Yeah.
And I think that's quite right. Where there's never really I remember it was EQT 2019, so the first EQT against Raptors, and you know you're playing against that would have been
oh, no way.
You know what? I'm gonna pretend I meant to do that. That's fine. I like you're going up against the likes of Mikey and Bill and Dan Trick and Lucy Q, like some of the best beaters in Europe, you know. But because you can keep that consistency when it's me, then Yak, then Ollie. George Whiting, you've got Frankie in there, you've got Jess O'Neill in there, you've got Karina Werner, like you've just got this rotation of really good beaters able to keep that momentum up and go. It sort of mitigated the fact that, you know, I'm not a Team UK beater, or Ollie's not a Team UK beater. Like we can sort of hold that own, and that's what I like when you're not playing hardcore Yan ball the entire time. Like shifting to that style worked really well for me. It took a bit of discipline and a lot of learning, but yeah, it works. Like LQC works as a unit. It's not. There are some brilliant individuals, but it's not. You know, I think that's, while Unspeakables was brilliant individuals doing brilliant things, LQC moves as one. And I think if you watch, that's apparent, like the way the Quaffle will play through the chaser hands. When the beaters go, the chasers strike, and like it's that one doesn't play without the other
definitely,
sort of thing. I mean, otherwise, like, yeah, I played in enough fantasy teams where give it to the big boy and run is still, you know, I had Farmer on my, I think it was my Valentine's team, and that was just fun. That was just give it to big. Do you know John Cooks, Big Farmer? Massive man, absolutely lovely. My favourite memory of him is still scoring against the USA in the 2016 World Cup, where the entire USA chaser line couldn't stop him on the drive. Just absolute, just lots and lots of fun. So I like that sort of play as well. I do think a trap a lot of teams do fall into, though, is they'll look at, like, okay, how do we copy LQC? How do we copy Werewolves or Raptors or Olympians? Like, it's not enough to just, like, mimic those patterns, those tactics. You've got to, like, figure out the how and the why, and then how do you adapt it to your strengths.
Definitely, yeah.
You know, like, Seb Waters is one of the best distributors in the country. Barely anyone can pass as well as Seb. So, like, okay, we don't have a Seb in our team. How do we mitigate that? How do we pass that? And then you look at things. Okay, do we just play closer together? Do we go on? Big Mission Impossible jump. So it's about, like, looking at how teams do it. How do you want to get close to that? And then, like, what's the process? What's the next step? And working towards that. And, like, I've enjoyed coaching. I'm coaching New Zealand for the World Cup. And so looking at, like, okay, we've got a lot of big boys. How do we play to that with our distributors? And what's the style of play? Because I can't just show up and play LQC ball. That just won't work.
Yeah.
So we've got to be like, what does New Zealand ball look like? And it's a lot of watching footage, and it's a lot of, like, learning and making mistakes and being patient. But ultimately, I think you learn a lot more about I don't know. I'm assuming you've played fantasy tournaments, right? And you always do better. You always do better towards the end of the tournament because you've played together for so long.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry, that's another. You're just getting ranty roundabout answers from me, but that's it. You know, like, it takes time, but I like jumping between teams and learning different styles. You learn a lot from different people.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, because I feel like that's the thing people kind of don't. Like, because, you know, like in football, like, there's a lot of teams, and, like, there's obviously, like, you know, the Barcelona way, there's, like, all sorts of teams. There's always, like, you know, the typical English style where, like, you just go down the wings and cross. Like, it just depends on the kind of players you have. Like, you can't just force a style, can you? If you don't have the players for it. So I guess people just need to be more, not critical, but more, like, realistic, I guess.
Oh, yeah, I think, I know what you mean by critical. I think more accepting of your, oh, good shot. I thought we were going to miss that. I think more accepting of their limitations, definitely. It's not like, well, we're not as good, so what can we do? No, okay. Then look at what you do. You could always find a way to, like, hide your weaknesses and, like, strengthen your strengths, you know, like. It's asking how can I do that, not saying I can't do that.
Exactly,
it's like you got to look at what you've got, not.
Yeah. So I guess while we're talking about styles, like, can you give us a... I mean, it's a hard one, but, like, can you give us a comparison between the North and South styles?
Ooh.
And I guess, like, yeah, would that be too hard for you? Or?
I don't know if I can make as educated a... Let's see. I went to Northern and I reffed a lot. I liked... like Leeds. Leeds, for example. I really enjoyed watching and reffing Leeds at Northern. I found their passing was good. They were good. They had a good, quick, nippy keeper who had some good hands on them. Like, I think the game's grown enough now. You can't say the South plays like this and the North plays like this. 3G I think has helped that a lot, where teams can't just run through the mud and hope for the best. I think the beating is generally better in the South.
Okay.
I find Southern beaters, as a rule, just tend to play a lot more aggressive. Like Bournemouth, for example, Bath did when Bath was around, would just sort of come up. Exeter as well, before Exeter closed, RIP. Would be a lot more. I think Northern beaters tend to play a lot closer to the line, because I think they're still expecting bigger drives. So you sort of like look at that action-reaction sort of thing. I could also be talking complete bollocks. That's sort of what I've taken away. I don't think there's a specific, like, North and South.
Yeah, it's just because it seems to be like, at least for me, from my personal opinion, it kind of seems like on average the southern teams are like much more, you know, quick passy, you know, like very agile and stuff, while the North is more physical.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, like there's a lot of teams that like they bring different styles,
Yeah.
but I'm just wondering if this is kind of, and also on average, like I think the southern teams are better than northern teams.
Yes.
Like
yeah,
I think
yeah.
like if you look at
Yeah. No,
So I was just wondering,
agree
do
with
you reckon that's just do you reckon that's just mainly because well, let me just check my grenade. Do you reckon that's just because like people move to the south for work, basically?
Are we talking?
like,
Are
basically
we
a lot of
talking on the university side or just in general?
I mean, just in general, I guess.
I do think, and there's not really a lot we can do about it. Is like London will just continue to
Yeah.
get bigger and better, and that's purely because people are moving to London to work.
Yeah.
But like you've got both Olympians and Raptors and Megs as well are like excellent teams in their own right, and obviously they're not in London. I don't think it's going to be that all the power is going to be in London. It's going to be concentrated in London.
Yeah.
I do think Southern teams are better, but I also live in London and play for a Southern team, so don't
Yeah.
it is what it is, isn't it? But
Yeah.
I think university teams generally are better in the South than Northern teams, but I'd quite happily be wrong about that as well. I think that's also looking at results, because Southern teams play Southern teams, so it's a bit unfair for me to say that.
Yeah, that's
which
true,
I've seen like this year's iteration of Southern teams go up against this year's iteration of Northern teams. We just won't know, basically, what that's going to be. Sorry, it's a bit of a non-answer. I'm trying to be a little bit political so we don't spark a massive debate.
No, I mean, yeah, fair. Right. Let's. So I was gonna ask you, what is the most difficult team you've faced?
Ooh. I mean, I struggle to play against Unspeakables because it is my old club.
Yeah.
And I think that's just a natural mental thing.
Okay.
Most difficult team I faced.
I mean, if you don't have a name, you can just say like multiple, or I don't know. I don't mind.
I mean, yeah. Well, that's the thing. I don't think there's no team that's a kryptonite. I think if there's a player that I have kryptonite against, it's Frankie.
Sure, I'll take that. Yeah.
Frankie Phosphorus. Great, just a great player in general. But also, whenever we train, she just decimates me every time. I just can't beat her. I just like with a bludger. I just impossible for me to ever get a beat off. She catches or dodges almost everything, and then rubs it in my face just because that's the person she is. As far as teams go, like I struggle as Unspeakables for the mental thing. But there aren't like specific, like werewolves and raptors and Olympians are difficult in their own right. Personally, I really struggle against mammoths. I struggled against mammoths at EQT because they've got such a physical, fast beta line that they can just rotate in and out, in and out, in and out. You get exhausted so quickly. I just can't keep up with that. Like you get drained, and they wear you down, and then they run through because they've got quite a good passing game, and they're just a good quick team.
Okay, well, I like that. That's a good answer.
And that's a personal thing, I don't think that's like a team thing. I think that's just how I play. I like being fast and aggressive. When then there are 5 other fast and aggressive players on there, I just struggle a lot more to keep up with that.
All right. So I guess that's done of our playing session. Do you have anything else you want to bring up or ask?
Well, what about you? I mean, it's a conversation. Like, is there a team you struggle against, or like what's the hardest game you've ever played, or the best game you've ever played?
Oh wow. Well, I think I guess the hardest game I've played was against Turkey for South Korea, because I don't think I've ever faced a more physical team in my life, and that's coming from a guy who played rugby. So it was something, but it was enjoyable. But it was just like I did not expect to be absolutely smashed every single time, like I got anywhere near someone.
We played Canada as New Zealand, and I think it was the only game of ours to get live streamed. I think we got beaten like 250-0. That was tough. That was some humble pie right there, man. That was like, but we never let up. We never gave up. We're like, no, we had to play, and we pushed, and like really proud of the team for that. That was hard, man.
Man, are you excited to get into the reffing part now?
Oh, go on. Let's talk about. Oh yeah, like this is easy. He says, not. This is where the real curveballs come in.
Well, reffing is easy. Anyone can do it, right?
No, not at all. I think we ask a lot of our referees. We ask a lot of our referees. For people who've never played a sport before to now come in and like manage a game as complex and kind of just impossible to follow as Quidditch. Like we ask a lot of our community to just come in and do that. And thank you to every referee. And I'm well aware I'm not the easiest person to ref sometimes. I've been known to get a little bit shouty, and I am sorry. It's never personal. But yeah, go on. Let's talk about about refereeing. Sure.
Yeah. So I mean, the first question is going to be the easiest one for you. I think the rest are going to be very hard. I'm going to be super critical of you.
Go for it, please.
No, I'm joking. I'm joking. So the first one is, when did you start? Well, when did you decide to start reffing, and then I guess why?
So I got captain of Unspeakables in I think it started 2016, and I was like, cool. If I'm going to captain, I need to know the rules. And so when I got captain, I got AR and SR qualified, and I did a couple of games, and I really liked it, and I really liked SRing in particular. I just enjoyed it. I enjoyed running. I enjoyed the banter with the Snitch and the Seekers, and that was a lot of fun. I just genuinely just really enjoyed it. It was less pressure. It was low key. You come on, you get. I made a lot of mistakes. But you get better and you learn, and there was an aspect to that I really liked. And then I did that, and I went and I refereed at the 2016 World Cup. Okay. I was the Snitch referee in the World Cup final between Australia and USA, which definitely wasn't controversial at all. So I haven't watched back that game. I haven't. I got people far smarter than me to go back and watch for me to I was like, I'm really unsure. Have I made a mistake here or something? No, it was the situation was the American beater was beat just before he beat. Nice shot. Just before he was beat, he beat the Australian Seeker. So the Seeker was called safe, and then the Seeker call. Basically, it was like a 1-2-3, and the agreement was between the referees that the catch was get off that, and USA lost for the very first and I believe only time. And it was a big deal. USA had never lost. I had a very grumpy American coach in front of me, and that was tough. I think that's probably one of the hardest things about refereeing is ultimately you don't have to answer to anyone except yourself. But when you're face to face with people who are so invested, and they've worked hard, and whether it's a World Cup or a Dev Cup or a fantasy tournament, exactly, you've got the responsibility to make that fair call. As you can. So I loved that. Despite the pressure and despite everything, I do like refereeing. And then I started hand refereeing about a year later, just because I thought, why not? I want to do it. And then I got to ref match of the year, Angels versus Northern Lights, Northern Angels versus West Mids. That was.
Oh yeah, that was fun.
Oh damn.
I don't remember. I don't think. Maybe I was giving you some shit. I don't remember. Do you remember getting annoyed at me? Because I like to talk to refs.
You're fine. I think it's because Chloe Durkin got injured, and I got annoyed because I was pretty sure I said she wasn't allowed back on pitch.
You're kind of you're one of my favorite coaches.
Referees?
Refs, I think. Because it's kind of, you do take a bit more shit than more people do. So you don't tend to get annoyed because,
I mean, inside I'm just fuming the entire time. No, It's a learning thing. I think what I've learned as a referee, or anyone with authority really, as soon as you lose your cool, that's it. As soon as you lose your cool or raise your voice, you've lost. Not that it I think a lot of new referees, and this is a generalization, but when they come and think being loud means being authoritative, and that's simply not the case. That is just unequivocally that's not what you can or should be doing.
So I guess, would that be part of your advices for new head refs? Or if you have any more advice, I'd love to.
Just for refs, and I think a lot of good refs will say even if you're only 51% sure, own it, And I think confidence is the biggest thing. I've had players talk back to me. But if you're sure, and if you've been consistent throughout the game, be sure and be consistent are those two things. But I've had players that talk to me. I just need to look at them, and they're like, oh, okay, no, cool, my bad. You shouldn't need to tell someone off every time something has gone wrong. Like, no harm, no foul is a great thing. Understanding what does and doesn't impact the game, like, and that's something that comes with time. And you just need to referee more and figure out what is actually worth chasing, or what is worth chasing, what isn't worth chasing. Like, if it's a little bit of back contact where no one's really been impeded, give it back to hoops, or just give a warning, and that's it. Like, it's a respect thing. Like, I hate waiting. I hate like long, lengthy discussions, and so do your players. Like, no harm, no foul. Keep the game going. Quidditch is meant to be like quick little individual things, and like figuring that out and how that feels. And as long as you're consistent with that, and by consistent, I also mean like you're not downing one team all the time, but not stopping the other team. That's it. And follow up if you say like, this is your last warning. Cool. Like, tell them that. Make sure that's communicated clearly. Just be fair, be consistent, communicate, and yeah, you'll be right.
All right.
Yeah.
So I was wondering if actually QUK did stuff for new coaches. Coaches. Again, why do coaches? Refs.
Yeah, so we, at Development Cup, we had a referee workshop at Development Cup, run by Eamon Harrison, our gameplay director. And that was there. Anyone could come in, they could learn, they could ask questions on what to do. And previously we've had little sectors in London and elsewhere in the country where you can just come and you can learn, and they'll teach you how to referee, what situations, what calls should be made. Like, those are things we actively do to try and, like, you know, get people more involved with reffing and reffing well. That's something we do, and we've done quite a lot, and we'll continue to do, because good referees, you need good referees for the game. Oh, unlucky.
Yeah, you were very close
to
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
So I guess now it's gonna be a bit more, more gameplay stuff. So
go for
more
it.
Gameplay related. So what is the hardest part about being ref for you personally?
I mean, I think the hardest part is probably just I hate giving red cards or sending people off. That's always difficult, especially when they don't think they've done anything. Like when they clearly disagree with it, having to make that call, especially when you know them and you're friends. That's hard. It's always hard. Looking someone you know in the face, say no, I gotta go with this. I try, like, especially if they're like quite a new player who genuinely didn't know better. Like, it's that, like, there's a partial thing that comes in with, like, you're new and I want you to enjoy this, so I'm gonna try and be like a bit lighter on this. That's always hard. I've never had a very serious injury happen on one of my games yet. Touch wood, it never happens. I've been part of that. That's always difficult. I think sort of supporting that and like trying to help through with that as well. But I do think probably the hardest parts are when you've got angry coaches, like, or captains or whatever in your face, like disagreeing with a call that you've just made. Like, that's never a comfortable situation. But if you're able to stand your ground and be like, no, this is why, and you don't need to explain it. You're like, this is the call. This is why. That's it. Like, you know.
Okay.
Ultimately, your job is to run the game, make sure it's safe and fair. And
fair. So what is your least favorite rule to enforce?
We're gonna list the colors you need for this.
I hate the little finicky ticky tacky rules, like the double kick thing makes sense. I just think it's dumb that it's a card. I don't like if it's like back contact but no one's it's gonna be close. If it's back contact and no one's gotten hurt. If it's like really like it's because the rulebook says so, I don't like that. I think that's dumb, and yeah, go on, why not? Let's just have some fun.
Oh, nice.
Bye.
I mean, oh my god. Oh.
The hope in your voice for that last little bit. I think I took myself out.
Yeah, I was like, I mean, you had like what, 12 health and I had 90, so I think that was a good trade. Take it.
Ooh,
close game.
Oh yeah, this is. I think this is to decide it. I should actually start doing this seriously. What was your question? What's like any rulebook that demands a card but didn't really warrant a card. I hate enforcing that for the sake of it. Even things like they're not doing the subbing procedure properly. Like it's my biggest pet peeve when people are like, just chill out. Doesn't matter. Just live and let live, man.
What, do people get actually annoyed about that if they notice it?
In Europe they do. Like if you don't enter the bounds like quite right, or like it catches you off guard as a if you've never played in like
Yeah.
a European
Oh.
like system before, yeah, like we've had certain European referees just an absolute stickler. They'll card you if you keep breaking the rule. Even if like players nowhere near you, like they'll much rather watch that than beta play, and it's one of the most frustrating
Okay,
things.
fair. I mean, obviously it's hard because you're always okay. What was that about? Sorry. Because you're in the moment of things and like you have to make split-second decisions.
Yeah.
So I was just gonna ask you, like, how do you gauge, like, in the moment, what is a a good hard hit, and what is a mate, like that's a card.
I as a head ref, it's you need to be moving and be close and like get. I think it'd be cheap for me to. Let's do it this way.
No, it's fine.
As a head referee, it's you need to be as near as you can to make an informed decision. I don't think you can always base it on like the power of the hits. I think that's dumb. Like if it's legal, fine. If they're injured, that's awful, but it's within the confines of the game. And I don't think you can. If the whole crowd goes, "Oh," that doesn't necessarily mean it's a foul. Off the bat, you need to be quick and you need to be sure. But I don't think. I think a split-second decision in a situation like that is the wrong thing. You don't want to be that's not how you want to do it. If an injury happens, like call the brooms down and talk to your refs and make an informed decision. Like those moments especially are where you need to be sure of what is right or what is wrong. You can't be, those are the ones where you take time. If it's the snap decisions are the ones where like, was it a beat? Was it a miss? Did their foot touch the boundary line? That's where you need to be like, no, I'm calling it like this, or I'm calling like this. Or is a little bit of a playful shove in the back. Like, those are the ones where it's like, yes, no, I'm calling it like this, let's move on. Yeah, but you don't make split-second decisions on injuries. You go and you look at the evidence. And then I try and talk to the captain and the player. Don't just say, player, all right, you've done this, you're right. Like, this is the reason why. Because otherwise you get those situations where you've got the captain standing right there wondering what's going on. Like everyone's informed. This is what's happened. You tell them why it is. You tell them it's not because of the injury. It's because they clapped them around the neck or something. And that's it. I think communication and honesty is like it's like a good relationship. You've got a good relationship with the player, good relationship with the captain, and both captains as well. So including the captain of the player that was injured. Cool. Like we're not getting the red because the hit was legal, but we believe it was excessive force and wasn't necessary based on these factors. Like, and at the end of the day, if none of your referees saw it. It comes down to you, and you've got to make the call based on the information you have.
Yeah.
And that's also the hardest thing. Like, I try and give feedback to referees throughout the game. If I feel like a referee's not close enough to the action or not loud enough, I talk. It's like, right, can you move around here, be a bit closer? I can't hear you. Like, it's constantly just talking, because then I don't want to have to think about the beta game. I need to be able to trust that my snitch and my beaters are looked after, and I can just focus on the main part until the snitch comes on pitch, and then as a head referee, I'm just standing there watching an 8-person pile-up while nothing happens and trying not to get distracted. That's the worst part of refereeing, I think. I've found when you're when I'm just waiting. It's like, nothing's happening now.
I mean, it's nice for chasers. You get a little bit of a break while people just.
But you have some fun with it as well. You get like down on the ground with them and just sort of watch. And
all right, do you have any more stuff you want to bring up for the reffing aspect?
It's hard and it's thankless sometimes. But it's a thing that needs to be done. It needs to be done well. But at the same time, just be nicer to your refs. And I'm saying that to me as well, because I'm just as bad. But please be nice to your referees. Like, they're doing the best they can. And we need them to make the sport work. And we wouldn't need 6 of them if we didn't have a quaffle, 3 bludgers, a bunch of boundaries, 6 hoops. Like, it's a complicated game. And we need as many people as we can to make it work the best we can. So thank you, refs. Be nice to your refs.
Okay.
And
I mean, it definitely is important, because I do tend to lose my cool a bit.
Especially when there's been an injustice where you made a beat and it wasn't called. Like that's sport, man. Like, stuff gets missed.
No, yeah, definitely, yeah. I mean, it's easy for me to say because I'm not the ref, but like I feel like it's important that after the game, if you've been, a dick to the ref completely, you just come back and like, oh, sorry, like I've.
Yeah, and I get that. I get players who did lose their cool, and they'll come back and apologize. And it's always nice to sort of like clear. Like, I really appreciate when people come up and say thank you or sorry. Like,
Yeah.
like no, that it does make a huge difference. Absolutely.
Happy little waterfall.
Like just hearing that, and be like, yeah, it's great, no worries. Like,
Going to see this different.
that's fine, I understand. Like, end of the day, it's just Quidditch, right? Like, it's not worth getting.
Yeah, definitely.
Super
Yeah,
upset
yeah,
for.
yeah. I was actually gonna ask you one more thing. So
Yeah, go for it.
I don't think in Quidditch do we have a thing where the captains have to go and sign a sheet at the end of the game. Where,
Yeah. So you're meant to sign a score sheet to be like, yes, this is the score. This is how the game went, basically. Yeah.
Okay, so I was just wondering if, like, you know, I don't know, maybe, but I was gonna say, like, if they have like a thing where, you know, you think like a ref did, you know, some bad calls, like if people could like look into that, or
Clearly, QUK needs to. We need to advertise our stuff more. We did have a feedback system in place, which is like, if and it was like an immediate online form, I believe. So if you weren't happy with something, you could go to the ops tent and be like, right, this feedback for this referee, and it helps our team make informed decisions about who should and shouldn't be refereeing.
okay.
But yeah, that's something we've implemented or tried to implement. It is. It's an important thing. I think like fair feedback and criticism is a good thing to have. It's a good tool.
Okay, no, that's definitely cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that kind of covers all the questions I've had. So, I mean, we can finish the game and then keep chatting about stuff. Do you have anything else you want to bring up? Like maybe if you want to.
No, I'm good, man. No, this has been fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, if there's anything else you want to ask me, then fire away.
Nothing on my. I mean, I guess one more thing. So, do you think how long do you reckon you'll stick in the sport for? Or are you gonna stick for after you finish playing, or?
So I'm wrestling with this at the moment. This was meant to be my last season playing.
Okay.
Like World Cup was gonna be like, I'm done, right? Like finished with Team New Zealand in 2020, great way to end it. But now I'm like, well, my last season's kind of been taken away from me with COVID and everything.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm still figuring that one out. If I'm gonna be playing
Okay.
or not.
Are you gonna still try and stick in the community? Are you gonna still try and, I guess, continue your maybe presidency or do like another form of coaching or stuff like this?
I've settled. Yeah, I'll stick around for probably another year as president, just because if we are changing like the structure, it would be really shitty of me to be like, right, cool, we've changed everything, and now I'm gonna leave it for someone else to like figure out.
Jump ship, yeah.
I've got to see it through. Like I've got to see it through and do it properly.
Okay.
You didn't hurt yourself. You're fine. Like,
yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Absolutely. Like I was looking at finishing, and then obviously all this has happened. So see it through.
Okay.
See it through one.
Yeah, because I feel like it's a tough sport to kind of quit, because like after a while, what are you doing?
Yeah. What is life without a?
Yeah, it's also like because you made a lot of friends in the sport, and it's kind of like, well, if you're gonna fully stop.
Oh, 100%. Like I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for like the people I've met.
Yeah, exactly.
I wouldn't still be in London if it wasn't. Oh, go on, finish it.
Oh, you played that super well. Did you intend
that? Oh no, it's a duds. You lucky bastard.
Oh, what? I didn't realize.
Sometimes the mines just don't go off. Yeah. Good to know. All right.
Nice. I'm thinking, you know, how do you ensure, like, I guess longevity in the sport, both in like, you know, the physical and tactical sense? Because obviously you stick around for, you know, quite a good amount of years.
Like, how do I personally ensure it?
No pressure.
Yeah.
I think it depends how invested I am. Like, I know I'm never going to make Team UK. I have no aspirations of making Team UK, and I don't think I'm good enough to make Team UK either. Let's make that very clear. But also, like I like winning. I like playing as well as I can for my club. So I think it's about surrounding. Like, if you want to be good at the sport, then surround yourself with people who have that same sort of outlook. And like that's why LQC is so good. Like, they want to be the best. They have coaches that strive to do that. And even people like Jay Holmes. You know, like they work incredibly hard to like learn coaching. Simon Bidwell, same thing. Like, study the game, look into it, what works, and like change and adapt. And like I think, you know, as well as keeping fit and doing everything else, like, you know, I go to the gym when it was open and do running and everything else to like, you know, I'm 30 as well. Like I'm definitely on the older end of Quidditch players. So keeping fit to keep up with all you young bucks is young bucks. I sound like my dad. No, but like keeping fit is important for me. Like, but I think I know I'm not the most physically gifted, so being able to like outthink.
Okay.
And I think that lends me towards being a coach as well, in some respects. But being able to outthink and study, and like watching like a lot of the Americans make good media and good podcasts and like plays and tactics and stuff, and like that's what I've been sort of feasting on at the moment, is like how things work, why you make these decisions, and going back and watching footage of yourself and like being honest with like why things did or didn't work. Like even the LQC versus Dodo's game from EQC last year, like there are points where I've recognized mistakes I've made and how you rectify that and don't do it again next time. So like it's education and it's honest criticism with yourself and just asking people who know, like and figuring it out and doing the best you can.
Oh, that was stupid as hell.
There are no mistakes.
Well, that was dumb.
It's fine. It's fine. But what about you? How do you get better? I mean, are you? What are your aims? Do you want to win a BQC or? Also, I just want to point out Matthew Fenton. I think you could have won Div 2. I'm just going to put that out there. I think Olympians would have smashed that.
To be fair, that's why I was trying to press him into an answer. Yeah.
He's very humble, but no, I think you guys would have won Div 2. I'm disappointed that it didn't happen.
Yeah, same for us, yeah. Well, I guess for me personally, man, it's because I still haven't recovered from my ACL injury.
True.
So, yeah. So, I don't know if you know, but like, I guess, so I recovered from my first one, went into the first game in, was it Northern? And then I tore the other one. So.
Oh, buddy.
Yeah, so I'm still out. I'm waiting for surgery.
Shit.
So definitely playing Quidditch is not a thing for at least a year and a half, I guess.
Yeah, previous partner of mine made Team Norway, and then she tore her ACL like 2 weeks later, before European Games, and that was the end of her playing career. After that, she was gutted.
Yeah. It is definitely annoying, yeah.
Yeah.
But to be fair, like if I guess the group of people I play with are still around in 2 and 3 years, like I might definitely get back into it.
Yeah. Like I think that's probably gonna be the next big sort of like I guess challenge for the sport is what happens next. So like a lot of like the top level players we're gonna retire after World Cup. It's a good time to go and to end and to finish, and so World Cup would have been a good full stop on that playing career. Like they might stick around for another year. So it's like what happens when all those players go on.
Let's have some fun today.
And I think planning as best we can for that exit is the is the responsibility.
Do you reckon that's like the biggest challenge of the sport right now, or is that in the future?
It's one of the there's no one big challenge we've got at the moment. I think Harry Potter not being as appealing. I think the disparity between teams is another big one, which is just driving people away. I think the lack of community-led tournaments has also caused like back in my day when you had fantasy tournaments once or twice a month. There was just so much more for people to get involved in. And I think QPL's been excellent, but I think its introduction removed a lot of that great summer Quidditch. Like there's a reason Valentine's is so good and popular. Like it's one of the only real big quote-unquote fantasy tournaments of the year. And people love that coming in. It's casual and fun and chill, but like when there was Summer Cup and Mercy and Teacup, like just good tournaments you can come to and you go and you play and you drink, and it's just a good time with your mates. And we need like a lot of that. Like it's dumb and it doesn't matter, but that it brings in so much of that great community spirit and is part of what makes this community so excellent. When they just sort of like let's get drunk in a field of Winchester, and have what that was. Fuck.
What is it a banana bomb?
Yeah, it was a banana bomb. It's one of the best items of the game, and I way undercooked that. Jesus. All right.
I mean, you're trying to let me win, yeah?
No, I promise I'm not. I promise I'm not. I would never. Good God. All right, there you go. You might have just earned that. Yeah.
Well, now, I'm gonna play it safe, actually. I mean, to be fair, like I personally didn't partake much in community. Do you turn this off? Wait. In community tournaments, I don't know why. I think it was a lot of a money thing for me, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like it's definitely something I wanted to try. So yeah, it is a shame that obviously before this, like there were not as many.
Yeah.
I guess community stuff. So it's kind of it would be cool if they managed to bring it back.
It would, and I think it was often like a university-led thing as well. So I think in time, in time it'll like we just need to fix that university game first by making it a fairer platform for them to play on, and then when there's more like motivation for them to be more involved, I think we should hopefully see that. Quack just needs to make sure that there's a platform available for people to come in and room for them to do that. But also, like, the other great thing is that if we move the community stuff to earlier in the year, it means we've got all of these experienced community players there who are available to volunteer and referee and coach and teach.
Yeah.
And also maybe, if they want, run an event. But yeah.
Okay. That's good. Well, I guess that's a good place to.
That was a nice sound.
Yeah, it was a good one.
To
Yeah,
finish on.
covered a lot of topics. I mean, if you want, is there any last thing you want to bring up? Like,
no, just thanks. It's been a great talk. Anyone listening to this, say hi, ask questions. Like, we're not all scary and unapproachable. Drop Quack an email, drop Abby an email, Harry, or like anyone if you have questions about things about community or structure or tournaments. Sure, Quidditch UK, quote unquote, runs things, but we are a community of players, and your input and opinion is just as valuable as whatever we think. So please tell us how it is, and let's make the sport as good as we possibly can. And this is sounding really cheesy, so I'm probably going to put a pin in it right there. But no,
I mean, no, that's fine. Like,
cheese is good. Cheese is good.
I mean, when you enjoy the things you do, you kind of want it to succeed.
Yeah,
like,
and
obviously we wouldn't be here if we hated it. So.
Absolutely. Don't get me wrong. I hate the sport sometimes, but I love it in spite of it. Like, I think Southern 2019 was probably my most miserable tournament when I was sitting in the van, freezing my bollocks off with Tom Norton, and we had to go play Unstoppables, I think, in the mud. And that was a do or die moment for me. I almost packed it in there. I was like, I'm done. It was like 0 degrees outside. I was soaked to the bone, covered in mud.
Oh man!
Half the team had been injured or already gone home because they were done playing. It was, that was rough. that was rough.
To be fair, I can't imagine it was any worse than Sheffield. I think it was 2018 or 2017.
Yeah.
Because man, we arrived and it was snowing on the way there.
Yeah.
It was horrible.
Yeah. I remember that. Mel Piper was really nervous. She just wouldn't make it at all. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, but like you said, if you do start moving it earlier, it'd be kind of nicer to play in the warms.
I mean, Quidditch is a summer sport, and there's no reason why we shouldn't try and move it in and around World Cups and QPL. We're not by any means planning to replace either of those things with UK events. But yeah, I mean, if it's what people want, then let's look at that.
Yeah, thanks, man. I think that's why I kind of started this. I want to see like people's opinions and stuff. I mean, if not for other people, maybe more for myself, because it is kind of cool to see like how people see the sport, and especially like you have your role in QK and your ref and stuff, so it's kind of a more interesting discussion. And I guess if someone listens to it, they could learn a thing or two, or like
I hope so. If you can sit
see
through
it from a different light,
almost 2 hours of me talking absolute bollocks, then yeah, sure. Why? God, it's been.
I put time descriptions in it, so if people want to have a specific question they want to look into, like they can just click on it. So
nice.
So maybe if you're not interested in all the stuff, like maybe if you're interested in reffing, just click the timestamp that with all the reffing questions, and you can listen to it.
Yeah,
you know?
Oh, that makes sense.
And besides, it'll be a 2-parter most likely. At this rate.
2-parter.
2 hours now.
All right. The good side and the.
Well, I need to get
the
the views somehow, huh? Fair.
Cool. All right, man.
Well, thanks for coming.
Yeah, thank you.
I really enjoyed.
Me too.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Bye bye.
Take care.